Hello, I'm Josh Lackey with Billy's Transmissions of High Point, North Carolina, and today we're going to be showing you how to change a wheel bearing hub on a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So first off, what I've already done here is I've gotten the brake caliper off, and I've already taken the wheel off as well, and I've already broke loose the rotor, and so I'm going to go ahead and pull that off now. Set that to the side. Okay, and so what we've got here is we've got a nut that we're going to have to take off right here in the center to disconnect it from the axle, and then we've got 3 bolts that come through from the back side, and these are going to be 12 millimeter, these are actually going to be 13 millimeter 12-point bolts. So you'll need a 12-point socket for those. Okay. What I'm working on here is through the axle that comes through the hub, there's a bolt, but there's also a cap with a kind of a pin, a little rod that bends to keep it from backing out. So I'm just going to bend this straight up out of the way. And we'll get that straight. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe I'll zoom in some. The easiest way is to just take and get in that little loop right there, and then just, well, okay, so we got that out. We're going to pull off. You're going to have one of these. Okay, we have that. Then behind that, you're going to have a little spring, a little wavy spring. Set that to the side. And then that's going to give you access to the bolt. All right, cool. Okay, we're back. And we're ready to take this nut off of the axle that comes through the hub. And what you're going to need is a socket, a very large socket. This is a 36 millimeter, and we're just going to put that on there and zip it off. Got it. Okay, so you're going to have the bolt. And you're going to have a washer behind that. Pull that off the magnet. A little washer. And then we're just going to knock this shaft through with a large hammer, just to break it loose from the hub. Okay, so that backed up about a centimeter or 2. So we know it broke loose. And now the only thing left to pull this off is we've got 3 bolts on the back side. And let me go ahead and show that to you guys. You have to see that real quick. Okay. All right. So right there, you will see one. And then you've got another one up top. It's going to be right there. And then on the other side, you got one right there, okay? Kind of like a triangle. Okay, so these bolts back here are going to be a 13 millimeter. 13, you're going to get yourself 13 millimeter, but it's going to be a 12-point socket, okay? I don't know if you guys can see. It's going to have 12 points on the end of the bolt. I'll show you that when I pull them off. I'm just going to break them loose by hand. I've already taken and put PV blaster to break loose the rust, because this Jeep did come from Virginia. So it does have a little bit of rust on it. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to a breaker bar so we give you a little more leverage so we don't bust nothing, okay? So we're just going to hook that up there. They're on there pretty tight, so you definitely will need some leverage. Okay. That one broke loose pretty well. Okay, I'm going to break the other ones loose. Now be careful and make sure that you were turning the bolts the right way. Because I was on that first one, I was turning it the wrong way. It's kind of awkward coming from the back direction. So this way, it's the correct way. So you want to pull this way. And we're just going to break that one loose. And then I've got direct access to this top bolt right here. And I'm going to break this one loose too. Okay. Alright, those are broken loose. That should be easy to zip them right out. Make sure you are careful. There's a brake line that runs right behind this bolt here, so make sure you push it up and out of the way. Actually, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so if you see right there, you can see this brake line is right behind this bolt, and if I keep bringing this out, it's going to get trapped or stuck or pinched in between the top nut that comes through right there. And so what you want to do is just go ahead and take that and push it up out of the way so that we can get that bolt to just zip right out and not pinch that brake hose, because that's a sensor and you don't want to pinch that. Okay. I was just turning that so that we can get a better makes it easier to access this bolt. Okay, so as of now, we have all 3 bolts out. All we got to do is knock this loose, okay? And the reason we're changing this is because this wheel bearing is bad, obviously. But what we noticed when we were driving down the road, is that it's kind of like a roaring noise. Just on the highway, you hear kind of like a roaring noise. I honestly thought it was the rear end, but when I recently put a set of brakes on here, I noticed that the wheel had a little bit of play up and down, and you can still feel it now. If you grab the hub itself and you just can rock it up and down, okay? And when you can do that, it's not supposed to have any play at all, but when you can do that, what that tells us is that the bearings inside of this hub are worn out, okay? And so what can happen long term is that if you ride it like this, what can happen is this bearing can lock up with you on the highway, and your wheel could lock up, or it's just not safe to drive like this. It's very dangerous, especially if it were to lock up with you on the road, maybe on the highway or anything like that. So that's why we're changing this. And so right now, we're going to get a hammer and we're going to knock it off. Okay. Come on out. Make sure that we knock off. Okay, now she's off. And you can even feel it, like when you take this and you twist it back and forth, you'll feel kind of like a grinding in there, and it's just not completely smooth. So what we want is one that's smooth. Okay, and so right now, what I have now is I've got the new one that we're going to stick back in there. There it is, brand new. Flip it around. You can see it's got a brand new bearing in there. And all we're going to do is take it and hook it back up to those 3 bolts. Okay? And this is non-directional, which means you can just put it in there any way. There's not a particular way that the bolts line up or anything. They just go right in, line them up, line up bolt holes, and tighten it up. Once you get everything lined up, tighten it up. watch your that wire. Just going to hold that wire out of the way. Tighten it up. Okay, so we tightened it up with the gun, but we're going to come back and we're going to look up what the torque specs are for this. And we're going to come back and we're going to torque them what the manufacturer suggests that we torque them at. Okay, so I've got the specs, and what we're going to tighten these back mounting bolts to is going to be 75 foot-pounds. We're going to use that with this torque wrench here. And then when we go to put this bolt on, it's going to be, they call for 175 foot-pounds, but we probably won't torque that today because we're not going to be putting the brakes back on this vehicle today. But when we have a chance to put the brakes back on this vehicle, we'll have somebody inside, and what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to mash on the brake really hard so that this doesn't turn as I'm trying to torque it with a torque wrench. But so for now, we'll just go ahead and hit these with 75. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Now that part is done. So wheel is on there. It turns well. And so now we're just going to go ahead and stick our first hour washer, and then our 36 millimeter bolt, and preliminarily we're just going to tighten it with the gun. Which does not have any pressure. Okay, so I'm out of pressure on that. But when you screw this nut in, you'll see the axle will just feed right back in place. And you know what you're going to do is on top of that, you've still got this little washer here. And then you've still got this retainer here, and then we've still got this pin that's going to go back in to the hole. And we're not going to put this on now. just to remind myself that when I do go and put the brakes on, that we still need to torque this bolt. But what you would do is just put that back on, slide this over and press it down, and then slide your pin through the hole, okay? And then obviously you would put your brake caliper back on and all that. But today we're not going to do that. We're just going to be putting this wheel bearing on, and we're probably going to save the calipers for another video, because I've got we're not just replacing the calipers, we're actually rebuilding the calipers. Okay, but anyway, so that concludes this video, and if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to comment below in the video. And if you guys have any questions regarding transmissions, we usually don't do this type of job for customers, but occasionally if we're slow, we might bring in, you know, a simple job like this. But the majority of the time we just specialize in transmissions. But if you guys have any questions regarding this, the wheel bearing or anything, just comment below. And if you guys have any questions regarding transmissions, maybe you need a price quote or anything like that, just feel free to give us a call here at the shop. We're open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and you can call the shop 336-887-1366 and get a price quote directly over the telephone. Okay, and that concludes this video. So with that, I'm out, and we're done.